Hey everyone, Spicy Toast Gaming here, and today we're checking out Neeko for our first impressions. So the champion themselves, it's a 2-star 2/2, and then play, you may disguise me as one of 3 2-cost units from my origin, or 2-cost followers. So when you play here, you're given the option to essentially transform Neeko into a different card, and she'll be that card until she either leaves play, so like gets recalled or killed, or until she levels up. So that level up attack, you've attacked with allies that have 6 or more different subtypes. Once she levels up, she then goes to a 3/3 and elusive, and now attack, grant allies that have a subtype everywhere 1/1. So a very strong scaling effect, also getting that elusive, very powerful. For her champion spell, it's that Shape Splitter, so 3 cost fast, create a exact ephemeral copy of an ally, then swap them. And then since this is the champion spell, it also creates her in your deck. This is a very strong effect to pull one of your units out of a dangerous situation, whether that be combat or an enemy spell is potentially targeting them. So a great way to save your units, and could also have some very strong effects. So if your unit has a lot of summon effects, like for instance Gatebreaker, where when they're summoned they hit the Nexus, you could potentially use this on Neeko so that she could trigger that again. Now, I'm not saying Gatebreaker would be the best for her, I'm just saying this is something you could use to trigger those powerful on summon effects again, so this should be a lot of fun to use. For their star powers, for the 1-star each round, the first ally you play with a different subtype than other allies cost 1 less. So you want to have a lot of different units with a lot of different subtypes, and this is going to give you some nice cost reduction throughout your game. Cost reduction, always a very strong effect. For the 2-star, +1 starting mana, game start for each ally in your deck. If it has a different subtype, grant it impact. Otherwise, it becomes a Shapeshifter. Now, Shapeshifter, that is Neeko's subtype herself, so it's just making sure all of your units start the game with a subtype. And then impact is a very strong effect to be able to deal some extra damage to the enemy Nexus. For the 3-star, very simple, just now that cost reduction you're getting is now 2 less instead of 1 less. This will be a very powerful effect, letting you play Neeko or some of your other units much earlier than you normally could. And the fact you're getting this every single round is really going to encourage you to have a lot of different subtypes spread out throughout your deck, because the more subtypes you have, the more you're going to be able to trigger this effect. Now, it is just once per round, but you're going to want to play your units strategically, so always making sure you have 1 card in your hand that's going to be able to benefit from this the following round. So while it is a fairly straightforward power, you will actually want to utilize this, and it will actually impact how you play the game. Overall, I think her star powers are relatively simple, so they're easy to get a hang of, but it will actually have a big impact on how you play, and I think they will be quite fun. Before we look at her starting deck, let's go look at the champion level up rewards. So first, Grave Companion, that dog there, 4 cost 1/5. Each round, the first time another ally dies, draw 1. Very nice generator. It's going to get a pickaxe, so it's going to go to a 3/5. Pretty decent. And while that card is fairly expensive, being a 4 cost, remember, you're probably going to play that for cheaper. Shape Splitter gets the hand sensor, not bad. The Tuft Web Spinner, so 2 cost 3/1, fearsome. Play if an ally has a different subtype than me, so that should be all the time. Give an enemy -2 this round. This is a great effect for either attacking or defending, especially since this card has fearsome, so you can reduce down their enemy's attack to the point where this unit can attack and not get blocked because of that fearsome. It's also going to get a giant spell, so it's going to be a 2 cost 3/3, very strong stat line. The Glacial Sorin gets a great club, so it's going to get Overwhelm. It's an okay upgrade, nothing too crazy though. Bonehide Tritail. So this is going to get a Warding Charm, so it's going to get Spell Shield. This 4 cost 3/2 with Overwhelm should be a fairly strong unit, especially for trying to finish out the game. You're probably going to have a lot of different subtypes on your board, so this unit's going to scale up quite powerfully. The Frostcoat Cub, this is going to get a Dragon Tooth, so 1/1 and Fury. So it's going to be a 3/4. Again, very powerful stat line for what this card is. But you can also spend the 6 mana to play me as the Frostcoat Mother instead. It's not letting us pull that up here, so we'll take a look at that in the starting deck. Behold the Infinite, so 2 cost Burst Invoke. That's going to get Farsight, so you're going to get this at the very start of the game. Now with the Invoke, there's quite a lot of different subtypes in there, so that should be able to help you with your star powers. Crested Lionhawk gets Double Time Watch, so it's going to be reduced down every single round. So normally 6 cost 5/5 with Tough, Play, if an ally has a different subtype than me, manifest a Demacian spell. So that play effect should always be triggering. While I think this card is too expensive on its own, the fact that we have cost reduction in our star powers and the double time watch means that after a round or two, this should be very beneficial to play just for that stat line itself. And then the play effect could be nice. It will always go off, but it's going to be a random draw of what Demacian spell you actually get. Alright, Frostcoat Club. This had the Dragon Tooth, remember. This is also getting a Philosopher's Stone, so draw 1. This is going to be a very powerful card for you, especially for that cost. And then the last upgrade we get, Behold the Infinite, also gets the Hextech Fabricator rank 1, granting the strongest ally we have a random common item. So, pretty decent. From the upgrades we're getting, there's nothing really game-breaking or completely crazy, but it does seem to just be a lot of solid upgrades. Let's go take a look at the whole deck now. So, Behold the Infinite, 2-cost Invoke, decent way to get some extra spells, and some of the spells in there are quite powerful, or spells and units. Frostcoat Cub. Remember, this is having draw 1 plus the Dragon's Fury, and then you can spend the 6 mana to play it as the mother, so 7/5 with Overwhelm could be a good way to finish off games. We have Neeko, Tuft Web Spinner, Shape Splitter, always good to have the champion spell in the starting deck. So remember, this is getting the hand sensor, so when you play this, you're buffing up the top card in your deck, but this makes it also easier to get items on this throughout your run, so that you can further improve it. The Bonehide Tritail, this is going to be a very powerful card, because if you're having like a full board of subtypes and you play this, and it's scaling up 1/1 for every one of those subtypes, this will be a very strong card. Grave Companion, giving us some extra draw, potentially every single round, so this could be quite nice. So this should be a decent card, giving you a little bit of extra draw again, and also just buffing up the top units in your deck. And then the Crested Lionhawk, this is going to be not the best until you get that double time watch, but once you do, it should be well worth playing once it's been discounted a couple times. Now, if you're looking at this deck and you're thinking, man, it's a little bit expensive, just remember from our star powers, we're going to be playing these all 1 or potentially 2 mana cheaper than what they're showing here. And then we're also having a 2-cost champion, which is very strong, which again, we might be playing even cheaper. In general, I'm thinking this is actually going to be a very strong deck that's able to be aggressive early, but also has strong cards for finishing out the game. I think it's pretty well put together, and I look forward to seeing what we can do with it. I'm interested to see how Neeko is going to work with items, since some of the items she probably won't have when she's disguised. So when you play her, remember, you disguise her as a different card. And I feel like whatever items you put on her might not show up on that card. So here, I think I'm just going to throw Quick Attack on just to see whether or not the unit we disguise as will also get that Quick Attack. I don't think it will, so this is kind of going to be testing it out. Honestly, you probably want to put the Chameleon's Necklace. So this is what I would recommend, either this or the Star Child Staff. The Storm Razor, this is just for the first game, going to be testing it out. But after the first game, I'm probably going to go with the Chameleon's Necklace until I get some higher levels. So that's our first impressions for Neeko. She looks like she's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to leveling her up. If you're enjoying this Path of Champions content and you want to see videos of me playing them all, putting out guides for them all, that will be coming out in the next couple days and weeks. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of those. Also, we did recently launch a Discord. I'll try to put a link in the description if you want to check that out. A lot of great people over there. It's growing very quickly. I'd love to see you join our community. All right, I hope you have a great day.